Have you ever wanted to explore the Antarctic? That's what we're doing today on BMF. Hey everybody, Matt here from BMF. Today we are taking a look at National Geographic Explore VR on the Oculus Quest. This was done in a partnership between National Geographic and Forcefield Entertainment. Special shout out to Forcefield Entertainment as they did send us a review key so we could take a look at this game. Before we jump into the video though, if you enjoy virtual reality content, especially right now with the Quest just releasing, filmmaking, or just technology stuff, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social platforms. We want to create awesome content that you guys can enjoy, and we want to create a community surrounded by that content. So now that that's out of the way, let's jump in and see exactly what this game has to offer. So if you've ever wanted to explore Antarctica, kayak on the frozen oceans in Antarctica, or just take photos of penguins in scale and ice cliff, this game is absolutely for you. In fact, if you haven't wanted to do those things, I think this game is for you. I had an awesome time with this. So let's talk about the specifics. When you start off this game, you start off in kind of like a chalet. It looks like it's in the mountains, which is like your base camp. So you can kind of explore this house. They got a kitchen, a living room. You can get the views out the window on the porch. I tell you, I would love to have this house. So if somebody has one just like this and wants to gift it to me, I would very well and easily take it. From there, you jump into the adventures. Now, there's only one adventure, which is the Arctic adventure right now, where you do go and your mission is to take photos of the emperor penguins. There are going to be a lot more content released for this. They haven't announced specifically what's coming out for it yet. They've just given some ideas of different locations. I'll put a link to their website and all the information in the description below just so you can take a look at it. You start off standing beside a giant ship, and you have to really experience this in VR to experience any of the scale of this game. But it's really cool because you're standing next to a ship and they lower down a kayak into the water, and you get the experience of actually kayaking in the ocean in Antarctica. Now, it does actually give you the opportunity to sit on the floor. I didn't do that in this situation. My son did that and said it was a lot better, but I haven't done that yet. But what you can do is once you step into the kayak, which you actually physically step over the location, which I thought was a nice touch, it'll give you the option to stand up or to sit down in the kayak. I did choose to stand just because I didn't feel like sitting on the floor, but that probably would give you a better experience. Now, the motion of kayaking is actually very realistic. I live in Maine, and I've kayaked many times, so kayaking has a very specific feel to it. Besides the resistance of the water, which you don't get in this, obviously, you do feel like you're actually kayaking from the smooth motion of moving your arms back and forth. You can even put your paddle in the water to slow yourself down and to steer left and right like you would realistically do in real life for kayaking. The really cool part about this, though, is what you can see in this game. The visuals look really good. I know this is the Oculus Quest, so people are expecting downgraded graphics, and that may be the case in some instances, but you don't pay attention to that, especially in this game. The environment is beautiful. As you're paddling through the water, you can actually look down into the ocean and see the fish swimming underneath of you. In fact, there's instances in this game where there's whales swimming underneath of you, and the scale of these whales compared to you in that kayak is really kind of creepy because they're so big. I really think they did a great job creating a realistic Antarctic environment that you could really experience, from ice chunks falling off of icebergs to giant pieces falling off of icebergs as you're paddling by. One of the cool aspects of this game, though, is the fact that you can actually take photos. Now, you're capable of taking up to 36 photos per adventure. And what you do is you hit one of the A or B buttons to pop up your camera, and your head actually is where your camera is pointed, and using the thumbstick you can zoom in or out. But it's cool because you can get some interesting shots of different animals, of the environment. You can try to take photos of the whales in the water. There's actually a point in time in this game where you pull up into this cove that you're about to get out of the boat, and this whale kind of swims underneath of you and then comes up out of the water and sits there with its dorsal fin. You can see it. The scale of this game is what's really impressive too. In virtual reality on the Oculus Quest, there's a part where you're actually kayaking through this canal with ice walls on either side, and it is incredible the scale that you feel. You can look up and actually see all of the ice walls, these little chunks of ice falling down and hitting the water, making splashes, and that's just in the kayak part. So essentially what you do is you build up to this point where you go through this whole kayaking section, and you get to the end of it and you pull your kayak up onto the ice beach, essentially, jump out, and now it's time to go climbing. So you take the ice picks in your hands and you actually smash them into the ice and pull yourself up, and then you keep moving yourself up that way. The view that you get as you move your way up this ice wall is just really cool. For instance, I got a photo of a mother whale and a baby whale over in the water as I looked around, and it just this really cool experience. And as you work your way up to the top of the cliff, eventually you get to the top and there's this awesome panoramic view of all the icebergs. And that's when the story continues into just some interactive stuff having to deal with staying warm, getting into your tent, fixing a couple of things, from taking the safety straps of the tent and clamping them back onto their pegs, to picking up boxes and setting up the wall so you have a wind wall, even to going and grabbing goggles and a sleeping bag in the middle of a snowstorm that you can barely see because you're going to freeze to death if you don't have a sleeping bag. And then finally, after making your way with the kayak, spending the night in the sleeping bag in your tent, you make it to the Emperor Penguins, which was the goal all along. You found out where they all are. You're able to go take some photos of the Emperor Penguins. It's a really cool landscape. Overall, the experience is about 25 to 30 minutes long, depending on how fast you go. There's a little bit of replayability with it because they have a couple of missions, if you will. I actually did one of them on accident while I was taking photos. If you take photos, then you might actually get these while you're playing through it. But there is 3 separate photo opportunities that you can grab if you play through the game again. After you're done playing through it, you can actually pick certain sections if you want to do that. So that's great for showing people what VR can do, or if you want to experience those sections again. Another cool feature of this game is the fact that once you get back to your cottage in the mountains, you're able to go over to your photo table and there's a wall of photos, and you can actually take your photos and put them in the frames on the wall. So it's really cool. It allows you to go get some cool photos and decorate the wall the way that you want to in the picture frames. There's also a couple of things in the cabin that appear after you do the mission, which I assume in the future, as more missions are unlocked and released, you'll be able to change things even more that way. Overall, this experience was a heck of a lot of fun. I think this is a cool way to visit places we probably will never go, or at least I know I'll never be able to go. I don't know exactly what's coming up next. They've announced a couple of things. One of the things that I'm looking forward to the most, they mentioned an archaeological dig, and I think that would be a really cool opportunity to experience something totally different in virtual reality. So those are things that I think are really exciting. I'm really excited to see what they do now. I think that Force Field Entertainment did a great job creating a really cool experience, and for the price, I think that you get a lot out of this, and it's just a really cool environment to be in that I'm really looking forward to exploring more as they release additional content. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on National Geographic's Explore VR by Force Field Entertainment. It's a unique and exciting and a really fun experience in virtual reality, and it's something that I would highly recommend to anyone that's interested in nature, the outdoors, kayaking, or even if you just want to scale an ice wall and take some photos of penguins. It's just a heck of a lot of fun, a really good time, and I definitely recommend it. So where would you like to explore next? In the comments, let me know where you would like to go or what kind of experiences you'd like to see in Explore VR by National Geographic. I'd love to make a list and send them to Force Field Entertainment just to give them some new ideas, and maybe we'll see them actually come to fruition on the Oculus Quest. Thanks so much for watching this episode of BMF. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and a share. It really means a lot to me and helps my channel out. And if you're interested in virtual reality content and keeping up with VR news and information, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. We have a lot of awesome content coming up, including game reviews, hardware tests, and some other original content that I think you're going to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and we will see you next time.